Yo guys, and we are back with another guys video. In this video, I'm going to be asking guys tough dating questions around women, about dating, and what it is they would actually look for, and what it is that makes them want the woman that they choose. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, first question. You're dating a girl for a couple of months. You're walking through the city late at night, and a guy tries to mug both of you and he has a gun. He's a bit crazy and you see he's about to pull the trigger. Do you take the bullet for her?
I think it's just based on chivalry. I would.
Yeah? Even though you've only been dating her for a couple of months?
Yeah, I feel like I've always been the type of person that it could be a stranger to a certain extent, as long as, like, if it's someone I know, or even like it could be like a friend of a friend. Like if I'm in a situation like that, I feel like I'd kind of have to. It's just a mentality. I've always been the type to stand on the side away from the road sort of situation. So
okay.
I guess it's just, you have to firm the bullet and just hope I can survive it.
I hear that, man. I hear that. Nice.
Always.
Always?
Yeah.
Even though you've only been dating her for a couple of months?
Yeah.
Okay. Say more. Why?
Because you don't know, like, in that couple of months you could have it could be the one. Do you know what I mean? You never know.
Yeah.
And if I'm dating someone for a couple of months, it's got to be more than something. Like, anyway, I wouldn't just be dating somebody, like, if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. You call it off after 1, 2, 3 dates maybe.
I hear that.
But yeah, I'd take a bullet for someone if I'm dating them for 2 months, yeah.
Nice. Cool.
So I've been dating her for a couple of months.
Yeah, for a couple of months.
Do I take the bullet? I'll be honest, probably not.
Why
Probably not, mate.
Why
I don't know her for that long. Like, if I want to be that guy, like the provider and the protector, if I'm going to be the man that sacrifices himself for his girl or his child,
yeah,
that takes time to build that connection with that certain person.
True.
In the same way, right, I would probably do the same with some friends.
Yep.
But only friends that I've known for that long. If I've just met some guy, hell no.
Yeah.
I'm not going to necessarily bring her in front and be like, take her, please let me live. But nah, I don't think I'll save myself.
100%. I hear that.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah? Even though you've been dating for only a couple of months?
It's not about that though, is it? It's about what type of person are you, right?
That's a good point.
I would consider myself more, I like to protect even my friends. So it would have to be, yeah, it's not about whether it's you or her, right? It's about, you should do what you can to help someone else. So why not?
I hear that, man. I hear that.
Do I take the bullet for her?
Yeah. Dating her for a couple of months.
Is it fatal? Do I know?
You don't know. That's the risk you take.
And that's the only option. We can't both escape.
No. Either you take the bullet or she does.
I'll just have to take it.
You're gonna take it?
Again, this is the woman that I love.
No,
and
you've been dating her for a couple of months. So maybe you love her, maybe you don't.
but there's definitely potential. Like, if I didn't get shot, we'd probably get married.
Maybe.
Yeah. I probably would take it, and then I probably regret it straight after. But I probably would take it.
Fair enough. I love that. Next one. You meet a girl and she seems great, but you find out on the third date that she used to do porn. Do you continue to pursue her?
Oh, it's a bit of a sticky one, literally. I think that one's it depends on, like, to what level. Like, I've been in a situation where I dated someone and they said they used to do like cam work and all sorts.
Yeah.
And that never really bothered me. I'm like, okay, so once, like, whatever, like, you did it ages ago, like, it's fine. I think if they did like full blown and she wanted like top searched.
Oh, she's in the porn industry for a couple of years.
Couple years. I think if it's like well behind her, and it's not one of them ones where, like, I'm walking down the road and someone's gonna come to be like, I watched your video 5 years ago, then we can put that to the side. It would just be a secret between me and her. I'm not telling no one, no.
Okay. I hear that, man. I hear that.
That's a tricky question.
It's a hard one.
Probably not.
No?
Probably not, no.
Yeah, so why?
I don't know, like, obviously she's going to be, like, experienced, but obviously she's going to want to expect, I don't know, there might be a level, like, of expectation within the relationship that she wants from a, like, that she's getting from a job, do you know what I mean? Or, like, you can never trust, like, for me, you can't trust somebody who's in that kind of, I've never dated anyone in that industry or, like, that line of work or been, like, anything like that.
Yeah.
Does, like, online stuff or whatever.
So
So it's hard for me to comment, but hypothetically,
you don't have a 10-inch penis.
I wish, mate. I wish.
No.
So yeah, she's always gonna be wanting that 10-inch, but I can't give it to her.
I would in the sense if it's just casual,
Okay.
but if it was anything long term, I wouldn't.
Why not?
I would just feel uncomfortable with that, and especially with the idea if I'm thinking that this girl's going to be the potentially like the mother of my children,
Yeah.
the thought of the kids growing up knowing that she had done porn, I don't think it would be fair on the kids. You know how already it's bad, say, if a kid has a hot mum and that kid gets bullied at school for having a MILF mum. Imagine when there's actually videos out there. So yeah, I don't think I could do that. But if it was something casual, but the thing is, I would actually bring this up with the girl. I wouldn't use her in that sense. I'd say, look,
You'd be honest.
I'm not really comfortable with this, like going forward or going something really long into the future. But if you just want to do something chill, then I'm happy to do it.
Okay, I get that. Gentleman, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, we've all fucking watched it, haven't we? So, whatever. As long as you're not fucking still doing it, I mean.
Yeah. So she's like in the porn industry for a couple of years. You're cool with it, as long as she's not doing it
I
anymore.
mean, at the end of the day, like, hey, we're all sending news and shit, right? At least she made some money out of it.
That's a good point.
I haven't made any of the 3 I've probably ever sent in my life, so good on you.
Fair play, fair play.
Are we talking like a very every week kind of session type porn, or is it like I did it once?
Oh no, she just used to be in the porn industry. So let's say she might have worked in it for 2 years or something.
But if I Google it, I'll find it.
You'd find it.
I probably wouldn't continue.
Fair. Why?
Yeah. It's. I think it'll be very tricky to continue a relationship knowing full well that I and my children can Google her and see another man. That's not me.
Doing the thing.
Yeah, I'd like to say I'd be able to handle it, but I'm not too sure if I'm in that position. So.
I hear that. No worries, I hear that. Okay, next one. You're on a date and she asks you how much do you make. Do you tell her?
I think because for certain reasons I wouldn't necessarily tell her, but I'm not really one of those things where I've got like that much pride to not care. I just don't really care about it. And because I also work, it's one of my jobs is quite mainstream.
Yeah.
You can Google my salary, like it's literally there.
Yeah.
So I think I'd give her a hint as to the situation, but multiple forms of income mean that it's probably the best. I just keep it to myself.
Okay, I hear that. I hear that.
No. No, it's for me, like it's one of them things. It's a tricky question. It depends. Like sometimes you might, but I don't think it's in a relationship. You have obviously a level of trust where you spend equally. Like you buy for one another. You do this. Like if one pays for the date, you pay for the whatever. But I think for me that's where it's got to work, especially if you're dating somebody.
Yeah, you're
like
dating, you're not
if you're like in a married situation, like things are escalating or whatever. That point you start to divulge in how much you're earning, what you make, finances, savings, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But I think if you're dating someone for a short amount of time, it's not really like a necessity. Like for me,
Yeah.
it's not about how much money I earn for whether you should be like dating me or whatever. It's not about that.
Yeah.
It's about everything else, like other things.
I agree, man. I hear that.
I'd not necessarily give her an exact number, but I think a girl would be able to presume kind of how much money you're making in the first place,
How?
to some degree. If you present yourself in a certain way, I guess obviously, I think she can probably guess within certain ranges whether you make between 0 and 50, 50 or 150, 150, 500, 500 onwards.
Yeah.
She won't necessarily be able to give you like a granular detail, like, oh, he makes 484,002p. But yeah, I don't think, I would try and judge why she's asking that question.
Very good
So
point.
based on her body language, her tonality, like, if I think, oh, maybe she's just curious,
Yeah.
or whether I'm like, maybe she's trying to find out because she's gonna base her attraction
Yeah.
on my answer, then I might actually quiz her back and be like, why do you want to know?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yes.
You tell her down
Yeah.
down to the pound, down to the.
No, you give a bit of a varied range, but realistically, the question shouldn't matter. But it depends what context, right? If you're asking sort of, it depends whether they're asking in the sense of, oh, I'm looking for this, or
Right.
oh, well, I do this, so I make around this. It's like you do need to understand whether you're on the same level of sort of financial competence. Otherwise, one of you's getting robbed.
One of you's just getting for
No, you know what I mean though, in terms of like one of you's gonna, if there's a massive disparity between what you're earning,
Yeah.
one of you's gonna have to pick up the bill the majority of the time. Whether that's you or her, sort of irrelevant, but it's it's like buying 60% more than you, we should put in the same probably in comparison to what we're earning from a percentage perspective, rather
Like
than
proportionately.
yeah.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
and if you earn more, hey, some girls earn in bank these days, so
Very true. Yeah.
First date or like fifth date?
This is the first date.
First date, I'd say that's a very cheeky question. What was the question? Would I tell her?
Yeah, would you tell her?
I wouldn't tell her the exact amount, no. Because what's it matter?
Good point.
If I'm a garbage man earning 12 grand a year, I'm still the same person.
Very true. Yes, you are. What's one thing you really appreciated about an ex-girlfriend that you miss?
I'd say it's just the fact of someone actually caring about what's going on in your life. In the sense that like you date people and they're like, oh my god, like what's happening and all sorts. But realistically, you guys stop talking tomorrow, they're not going to be checking up on you and all sorts. I think just that sort of personable side of it, that like okay, they understand and they're actually physically there for you. You know what I mean? They're invested in what you're invested in. It's probably a massive part of it, I'd say. And just having someone that like you can always like reach out to without any, that you don't have to feel uncomfortable. You know that regardless of what you do, you can call them and they will pick up.
I hear that, man. Sorry.
I don't go on many dates, so this is a hard one for me. I don't know if she turned around to me like and she said she was in the porn industry, like I'd be like,
No, but what's like the biggest red flag you've seen on a girl on a date they've had?
I don't think I've ever seen a red flag on a date, to be honest.
No?
Not that I can remember, not that I can recall like that's gone like whoa, like this has got to end.
Okay.
I think for me it's like when I'm dating someone or on a date, it's all about chemistry. I don't really look for red flags.
Yeah.
I think the red flags show themselves eventually, but then especially on a first date. Did you say first date?
First date.
Yeah, first date. I don't think none like spring to mind straight away.
Oh yeah, that.
But
Maybe you've not had one.
yeah, maybe I've not had one, mate.
Mate, you need to share these girls, fam.
Mate, I need to go on more dates. That's what it is.
That I really appreciate that she did.
Or something about it, whatever it is.
Yeah, I guess just how they would always put me first. Well, not always, but just in situations where they might not have felt the best emotionally. If I was going through a rough patch, they would kind of prioritise my welfare over their own. And that's all. Maybe at that time I wasn't mature enough to necessarily appreciate it.
Yeah.
But definitely as I've kind of gone on in my life and I've matured, there's definitely certain aspects of previous relationships that I've looked at and I think I should have probably been more grateful for the way that I was treated. Yeah.
I don't miss any of them, but I don't know what the right word is. Loyalty in front of their friends, in terms of we've all had it. Friends sometimes will see something and not understand the context behind it and will tear into who you're with. I have been with someone who, no matter what, and I was very toxic at the time, I'll admit that. She would never tell them what I had been through, but she would always tell them they wouldn't understand. No matter how upset she got. So that, for me, that loyalty aspect, in terms of I have opened myself up to you in a way that others will probably never see.
Yeah.
Not using that to shit on me is probably the biggest appreciation.
I hear that. That's a very good one.
How homely they were. I think that comfortability factor is something that you may not necessarily get with everyone. Yeah, I'd probably say that.
Outside of looks, what's one quality you love about a woman?
I'd say, this is hard. I feel like it's just, I'd say how they are around people. That's a massive part of it. I feel like a lot of people, you forget that interactions is a massive part of it. Some people, I guess, if they're removed from like family and all sorts, it can be big. But like, if I can see someone that no matter what scenario they're in, they get along with, not necessarily get along with everyone, but they can socialize without feeling awkward. I find that weirdly enough like really attractive. I know that no matter where we are, whatever type of friends I bring you in front, I don't have to be worrying about you or worrying about how you're gonna feel or something like that. I feel like you can sort of stand on your own 2 feet. I think. Other than that, maybe ambition as well. Like someone who's really really got their, not necessarily got their stuff together, but they have a view of where they want to go.
I hear that.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Nice one, man.
Okay.
Go on.
So, obviously you know one of my exes, and one of hers, like best traits was her like productivity and her like willingness to succeed. And the way she just kept like, she was so driven.
Yeah.
She still is.
Sure.
And she's like that was a trait that I didn't see until after.
Sure.
And I was like, I miss that. I miss being with someone who's that driven.
Yeah.
To want to get to where she wants to go to, or you know, achieve everything she wants to achieve.
Yeah.
I've never been with somebody, and that's always a trait that I've looked for since like dating after that relationship. That I've gone, that's missing.
Yeah. I hear that, man. I hear that.
Ooh, ambition and fitness. Those are two different things, but they're sort of correlated.
Okay.
I think you need to have your own life, and even though physically I'm attracted to you, if you don't have anything else going,
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen.
I hear that. It's not interesting.
How they engage with other people. That's probably the biggest thing for me that can put me off straight away. Can I walk you in a room with all of my friends and not have to worry about introducing you? Not that I wouldn't,
Yeah.
but can I leave you in a room with all my friends and know that you're going to make an effort, and vice versa? They're going to make an effort with you, because the people you surround yourself with are going to be a reflection of you. And if they cannot get on with those people, then yeah, you're not going to be together for long.
Very true.
Nurturing and kindness. For me, like the kind of intrinsic motherly aspects, I find very attractive on a girl.
So nurturing.
Nurturing, 100%.
Nurturing.
That stuff really turns me on.
I hear that. One thing you wish women knew about men.
We don't care that much. And when I say don't care, I'm not talking about them, but it's like the little things we don't care about as much as you think. So like, if you got the wrong shade of, I don't know, like lipstick for your dress, like I promise you, we don't mind. Like we don't have that much of a hang up on it. I feel like it's more of a case of the effort that you put forward for you put forward for us is more than enough. But like if you turn around and like you're like, okay, I don't think we pay attention to like supposing like stuff like weight gain that much. So like girls are, I feel things like no, like we still care about you, we still love you, whatever. Okay. Like, regardless of it.
I hear that. Okay. Next one. What's one thing you wish women knew about men?
One thing I wish that women knew about men.
Yeah. So is there something like about being a man that maybe you found that it's difficult for a lot of women to understand? It's one thing you wish they knew.
Fucking hell, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
My God, this one's like taking me back.
It's alright. Play it out.
One thing that I wish that a woman knew
about being a man.
That maybe that we're okay to be on our own, like
our space.
I think like we're good with our own space and our own time, and I think there's a lot of relationships, especially that I've been in, that some respect that and some don't, and then the ones that don't, you kind of like just give me my space. Like you're always searching for that.
Yeah.
Like we just need to just like be allowed to have our own space sometimes.
Yeah, I hear that. What's one thing you wish women knew about men?
That's a tough question. that men have to get used to rejection, whereas women I feel like cannot deal with rejection at all.
Do you say that men get rejected more than women?
100%. I think every guy instinctively like knows that they're going to get rejected. There's the kind of two people. Like, there's the people that never tend to necessarily get that good with girls because they're afraid of rejection, and this was me before. And then there's the people that are able to overcome that and realise that it's just part of the game. That if you want to kind of achieve greatness in whatever you're doing, this kind of applies to everything in life, not even just dating. I feel like even in sports or lifting or whatever, you're going to have to face rejection countless times. For girls, I don't think it's nearly on the same scale, and I think that they view men through their own kind of lens in that sense. So they just presume that how they feel is how the men feel. Whereas I think they need to understand that we deal with rejection a lot more than they do.
Very true, very true. Next one. What's one thing you wish women knew about men?
That's a fucking hard question, man. It's a hard one. Because the sort of girls I hang around with, I would say it's from a mental perspective, but then I think it's more the girls, I think the girls in the UK are fine. I think it's like the American girls that you see online that don't seem to get anything.
Well,
like,
is there anything in your experience with women that they struggle to understand about a man, that they're like, oh, I don't get why men do this, or I don't get why guys are like this?
well, all women seem to think these days that men are trash. So, yeah. I don't think it's just with women. I think it's overall from everyone's perspective. We only see the probably top 5% or the loudest 5%.
Very true.
So everything online, whether you're talking shit about women, whether you're talking shit about men, whether you're talking crap about politics or whatever, you only see that 5%. And we're all very, very in tune with then thinking that that is the full demographic.
Very true.
So probably not just women, but just generally. I think you need to make your own decisions from your experience, not from what you've seen. And it's always the loudest thing in the room, which is normally the loudest thing in the room because they're being controversial or saying something quite disrespectful.
Yeah, I hear that, man, for sure. Thing you wish women knew about men?
Huh. I don't actually know. What's one thing that women, say that again?
What's one thing you wish women knew about men?
About men?
There's something about men that they don't understand in your experience that you wish they could just understand.
Probably sometimes we need our own space. And if I choose to go to a training session, I do jiu-jitsu, so if I choose to do that rather than chill at home and have dinner, I want to have the ability to do that and not be felt or not be made to feel guilty for going out. So I'd say freedom within a constrained circle.
I get that.
If that makes sense.
Nice, I get that. Next one. Have you ever had sex with a girl that you didn't find attractive?
I'd say retrospectively, yeah. Where at the time, maybe like some form of bear goggles or like, you just like, it had been a while. And then afterwards you kind of like, I really didn't need to do that. Yeah, so I'd say yeah.
Yeah, alright, I hear that. Last one.
Yeah. Yeah. That says it all, doesn't it?
You're not the only one, boy. You're not the only one.
I wouldn't say not attracted to, but just not as attracted to, not necessarily, they didn't necessarily really turn me on that much, but I've never had sex with a girl where I was just outright, I'm just not attracted to this girl. I don't think I'd be able to.
First.
Yeah.
No.
No?
I would say no. I say no because I say no.
Sure?
Yes, and I say that because.
You don't want me to out you?
Who?
Listen,
No. No, I haven't. But I have gone home with people and left.
Because you didn't find it
Well,
attractive.
you know, sounds horrible, but you know, some people look different in the club. I imagine I do as well. You know, and yeah, I've gone home with someone and then sort of they've opened the door and I've just said, yeah.
So you just bowed out. You're just like, I'm not.
I just said, listen, I'm out with my friends. I didn't say why, but I said, I'm out with friends for a birthday. I think they're still there. It's quite early. I feel quite bad. I'm just going to head back.
Fair play. I hear
that. Yeah, so not attracted to is strong, not as attracted as someone else for sure. So perhaps not quite high on a scale.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any female friends that you would have sex with?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
No female friend. Out of all your female friends, if they all stuck on you, you'd say no to every single one.
I feel like because most of my female friends, there's a reason or a story behind why it's either like they dated a friend of mine, or it could be a case of like I've known them so long that they are literally like a sister to me.
Yeah.
It could be a case of they're like, I don't know. Like there might have been like initial chemistry and then we realize it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Or it could just be a case of like there's always like a reason why. There might be like a family member of a friend or something like that. So yeah, I don't think I'd ever go there with a friend.
I hear that, man. Nice.
Yeah.
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 Like, out of all your female friends, what percentage of them would you have sex with? If they were like, oh, Johnny, I'm just looking for a one-night thing, I've always thought you're pretty hot. How many would you say yes to?
65%, 70%.
First.
That might be a bad percentage, but I've got some attractive friends. But no, there's like, yeah, there's some that if they turn around and was like, yo, I'd be like, some that obviously the 30% you'd be like,
yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
I hear that. Sick.
I have female friends that I have had sex with.
Okay.
But I am friends with them now, not because I want to sleep with them, but because we dated. It wasn't a thing, but we enjoyed.
But if they were like, if one night they're like, oh, Zach, I'm just feeling really frisky, I've always found you attractive, would you?
No.
You would say no?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's no female friend that if they message you just to have kind of a one night thing.
Depends what you consider friend, right?
Yes, sir.
I consider a friend to be someone quite close to me that I see quite regularly. It's quite a big part of my life, whether that's emotionally, physically. We're in a bigger, wider friendship group.
Yeah.
I've got mates that are girls, that they are attractive girls, and if we're both single when we're at a party, then yeah. But in terms of people I consider friends, I've developed relationships with my friends to a degree that it would be a waste to potentially jeopardise that for a shag.
Did I hear that?
Yeah.
Big facts.
How big is your audience?
You're not telling us who.
No, I'll probably say no actually.
No?
Yeah. I think one of the reasons why we're good friends is because we haven't gone there.
And you wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
I hear that.
I think you get to a stage where you treasure the friendship relationship over messing it up by having sex with them. I think as soon as you cross that boundary, there's no going back, because I've tried it and you lose friends.
Yeah.
So if it's a genuine friendship that I treasure, I wouldn't go there.
Hear that? Big facts.
No, I don't.
No.
I think we've had this conversation before, right? I couldn't. I couldn't, yeah.
Alright, cool. That's one. What's the biggest red flag you've seen on a date with a girl?
Biggest red flag. I had one which was pretty bad. So I went on a date with this girl. This was ages ago. I'm not going to go into too much detail because otherwise I feel like she'll know if she's ever watches this.
Yeah.
But she said that she used to harm kittens when she was a child.
She used to harm?
Like play around with them, but like in an effed up way. And I was like, nah, this girl is psycho. Like for me, literally instant turn off. I was like, this girl's crazy.
That's
like,
pretty
legit,
extreme.
yeah.
That's pretty extreme. I get that. What's the biggest red flag you've had on a date with a girl?
Oh, that's quite a hard one. It's not a red flag per se in terms of it being brought up, but for me, and I was speaking to someone about this last week, it's a big red flag for me when the bill comes.
Say more, what do you mean?
I will always, if I've asked you on a date, I will always pay. There's no problem with that. If you don't offer, and if you don't offer, even if the date went great, I'm not seeing you again. And it's not about, I've heard a lot of people say it's, but then you're sort of just like, you're just using her to like, that's such an unfair thing to ask for if you're going to pay anyway. That's just like playing games. No, it's about how much are you both willing to put in to essentially what it could potentially be a relationship. Is it going to be a 50-50? Then there's arguments like, girls, we put makeup on, and it's like, yeah, you do, but I also don't turn up with my fucking balls hanging out in sort of sweatpants. Sure. So yeah, that's probably for me the big one. And how they treat waiting staff. That's a big thing.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. Flag you've had on a date with a girl.
I'd say intelligence, and that's from not having a stimulating conversation, especially when we're in a group as well, and her responses are not necessarily aligned with what I'd probably answer with as well. I'd probably say that.
Okay,
yeah.
I hear that.
I'd say it's entitlement. Straight away, entitlement. I was on a date a couple years back, and like just the aura of this girl was like, I deserve this, you know what I mean? And I think at the end of the day, like it just wasn't really going well. But I was just still being like good, having good conversation with her, and she couldn't get an Uber, and she turned to me and says, well, you're gonna have to be a gentleman and drop me home. Bearing in mind, we were in Shoreditch, she lives in Putney, I live in Enfield.
Dead.
I was like, yeah, nah, that's not happening. No. And like she was like, well, you're gonna have to drop me home, and it was just kind of like consistent back and forth. I was like, you know, when you think like, this is now not a joke, is it? Like you're being 100% serious.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's like, no, I'm gonna get in your car and you're gonna drop me home. I was like, oh yeah, no, this is definitely not happening again.
I hear that, man. I hear that.
Pow.